Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning briefing. There is so much going on here at Friedman Adventures. I've got white sea bass going crazy. The bluefin bite, is it ready to rebound? It's looking really, really good. Barracuda gone crazy, and so much more. Good morning. Grab a cup of coffee, and thanks for spending a few moments with us here this morning. We really do have a lot to go over with you, but before I get into anything, there's a guy out there today who's a huge fan of Friedman Adventures. He's always watching every bit of content we put out, always commenting on YouTube, and I just want to say happy 39 birthday, 39 years to Travis Bright. Travis, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day today. Cannot thank you enough for your great support. Hope you're with family and friends, and today's a special day, and maybe even out catching a barracuda or a bluefin tuna or something like that. If not, then fishing vicariously here with Friedman Adventures. Really great to have you and everyone else on board. And if you wouldn't mind, give us a like right now, everybody. That really, really helps us. We continue to grow by leaps and bounds, and of course, I'm not silly enough to think that that has very much to do with me. That has everything to do with your loyalty and your support, and I deeply appreciate it. All right. So much to talk about. Let's go down to Ensenada. I just got off the phone with Arnie. He's a pongero down there in Ensenada and got doped up on everything that's going on down there in that neck of the woods. I'll talk about the local scene down in Ensenada, which is really quite good right now and continues to impress. But I want to talk about offshore right now. And I've got to tell you, their bluefin fishing has been very poor here. Yesterday was a very slow day for the guys down there. Trolling around with those Mad Max has been such an outstanding way to take bluefin tuna. I mean, everybody's been cranking on them, and as many of you like to do, including yours truly, drive across the border, go to Ensenada or several other venues in beautiful Baja, California. It is so much fun, and it is a gorgeous place to visit. The fishing's been outstanding. There's something that adds to the adventure when you're on a ponga out of Ensenada and you're out there trolling around. You get a jig strike, and then you end up with a fish up over 100 pounds. Really, really great. But as I said, it slowed way down. And Arnie surmises that it's 73-degree water that has a little something to do with it. He thinks it's just getting too warm right now. And that perhaps is the situation, because as you'll hear in a moment, the San Diego boats have strayed into another area, and they're finding copious amounts of bluefin tuna. So that fish is definitely starting to move, and we're seeing it push out of Ensenada. Is it temporary? Was yesterday just a down day and they'll come roaring back today? It's very possible. So we have to watch this thing. But that warming trend, Arnie's observations seem to suggest to me that that Ensenada bite is in transition now. And when I say in transition, I'm talking about other species starting to move in there. Now, I specifically asked Arnie, have you been offshore hitting kelps there out of Ensenada? And he replied with, you darn right we have, and they've been dry. There hasn't been anything on them. And of course, what he's looking for is yellowtail, maybe yellowfin tuna. We had a splash of that when we had that south swell pushing warm water up the Baja coast. And also, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but 73-degree water, you got to think there's going to be a few flatheads that push in there for sure. July ought to be really exciting if that water stays as warm as it is and that highway remains open up the Baja coast. And just for a moment, we're going to have an albacore update here today with some exciting news. You're not going to want to miss that, but you're thinking to yourself, okay, warm water pushing the bluefin out, that's not good for albacore. And you're right, it's not. But that warm water is along the Baja coast. You get offshore, you start to find that albacore water, that 63, 65, 66-degree water, and that is still intact. I'll have more on that on the albacore update in just a little bit. So, Ensenada, there you have it. There's some good news locally. When I get back to the local scene, I'll catch you up on all of that. All right, good news and bad news in San Diego. The great news is that all those guys down there, and those guys know what they're looking at. They are really freaking pros. I am so amazed when I fish San Diego at the professionalism and how good they do everything. They're looking at more fish than they've seen all year long. In fact, there's a 40-mile stretch where many of the guys, they kind of spread out trying to find a nugget that wanted to bite because they've been seeing this stuff for quite some time and it just doesn't want to bite. And hell, if you want to see fish, you can go to SeaWorld. So that has been the dilemma they're in. It's so frustrating seeing copious amounts of big bluefin tuna that don't want to bite will make you want to pull your hair out. So we have that going on right now. Now, on the other hand, some of the overnight boys started to put some catches together. Is this the light switch going on? I humbly think it is. I think in the next few days, you're going to see that bluefin tuna bite really pick up and start to chew. And the size of the fish down there, there is some of that 30 to 60 pound bluefin tuna, but there's an awful lot of 150 to 200 pound stuff. So that is really looking good. Pegasus, day and a half, 23 bluefin tuna. That's a darn good score considering what we've been going through here recently. Islander, 22 bluefin tuna. Pacific Queen, 31 guys, 15 bluefin tuna. No, not wide open. No, it's not what we became accustomed to because we're getting really, really spoiled. But it is the light switch going up because we haven't seen even a morsel like that here recently. So hopefully that's going to get going. And again, the grade of fish is absolutely spectacular. Really, really big fish. So that suggests that you not only need to have that 30 to 40 pound fly line outfit. Opsin fluorocarbon is what we like. www.opsinusa.com. That is a good way to get the job done with that 30 to 40, but you need a 2-speed reel and 80, probably 100 pound to go with it. Knife jigs, canas, all of that stuff is going to come into play. Flat falls are all going to come into play. Be ready to sink a rig, fish. I know you're thinking it's been so slow and you're kind of down, but I'm giving you reason for optimism here this morning. I'm giving you real reason for optimism. As I said yesterday, we were waiting for a Barracuda explosion. It's imminent and it blew sky high. I'll get into that in a moment with you. That sea bass bite, that bite is on. So remember, it kind of went off everywhere. It's starting to go on everywhere right now and look better as we go along. Now, the boats that are leaving at 6 a.m., fishing till the evening hours, many of those guys still struggling, but still seeing lots of fish, huge acres of bluefin everywhere. And one of these days, it's going to turn up. But we had scores from 0 to the San Diego with 5 bluefin tuna on those boats leaving in the morning. I know on a per rod average, not very good, but it's gonna go one of these days. And it seems to me like this is the right time. Now, whether it's gonna be a nighttime bite and the daytime boys will struggle, we don't know yet, but I just think things are ready to pop and it's looking very good. And on those 6 a.m. trips, for the time being, unless you happen to be fishing the Coronado Islands, you definitely have to go with the heavy. You've got to have a 2-speed reel to take some of these monsters on, no question about it. All right, let's run through the islands now with you all. And one comment I'll make is that warm water, that seems to want to push that fish out to Tanner, Cortez. There was a boat that checked it about a week ago, I'd say, and he had one yellowtail out there. So it wasn't very good, obviously, but probably that's where that fish is going to end up. Mark Paisano Jr. on board the Amigo that one morning, or that one afternoon, I should say, 3 miles off Pyramid Head, had really a big, giant area of bluefin tuna. So we'll hope that that's going to continue to head in the right direction. All right, let's take you through the islands now, starting down south at Todos Santos Island. And there's a lot of barracuda, good calico bass fishing, lots of rockfish. That is looking very good down there at Todos Santos. So if that bluefin is not biting and you're going to Ensenada, that'll give you an option down in that neck of the woods. Moving you up to San Clemente Island, we're looking at that area for you and seeing continued progress at SCI. More yellow starting to show up. Calico bass, pretty good bite on that. A lot of shorts and those 2 to 4 or 5 pound bonita, sometimes even bigger than that, are on the bite also. Jeff Markland on the Thunderbird said he had to still wrestle some sea lions. They've been a real pain in the neck this year, just about everywhere. 8 to 20 pound yellows there. You had 27, and then picked at the bonita and the calico bass. Very active fish getting up on the surface and boiling around, so looking good. Fluorocarbon, a good hot bait. You'd think that that stuff would start to eat the surface iron, tatty 45s, all of that should come into play as Clemente warms up, cleans up, the environment's good, conditions looking good, and we're seeing better catches of yellowtail just about every single day. So hopefully that's going to continue to progress. And remember, only 3 miles off the head about a week ago, all that bluefin tuna was there one day and gone the next. But if you get into that kind of a scenario, and man, that really gets crazy, where you can fish bass at one moment and then run 3 miles outside and catch bluefin tuna to 200 pounds. That really is amazing stuff. Catalina Island, I'll talk about that for a moment. It's really been hit and miss. It's been tough on some days and then really good. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to cat right now, but some really good calico bass fishing, mostly shorts at times, a lot of bonita, some barracuda, occasional yellowtail and sea bass, and then goes down the tube. So we'll have to see how that is indeed going to go along at Catalina Island. Up there at Nicholas and Santa Barbara Island, a little bit more white sea bass for some of the boys up there fishing. That is starting to come together pretty darn well. And also the weather, we always have to watch that when you're fishing out in that neck of the woods. Copious amounts of rockfish, that's still biting really, really well out there in that neck of the woods. All right, Channel Islands. My lips are sealed as to where, or my life will be in danger, but wow, white sea bass that you can't imagine it could ever get this good. Hook up back there, I think, right? Really great sea bass fishing going on up there in the Channel Islands right now. Tremendous fishing going on board the Aloha Spirit. And a passenger who's a big fan of the morning briefing, Dennis Monahan. Dennis, I send you all my best, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled that you got in on such a spectacular bite. 15 anglers on the Aloha Spirit. 45 beautiful white sea bass. Take a look. Gorgeous fish, wide open fishing. They spent so much time cleaning fish that the guys were kind of just looking at each other. It is one heck of a bite. And it's the kind of sea bass fishing that I find not only amazing, but so exhilarating. It's that run and gun type fishing. Really, really fantastic, fun stuff. So they'll run and they'll tell you to drop. You get 4 fish going, or you get everybody on the boat bent. It's exciting fishing. It's limit style fishing. And I don't know how the heck you can beat it. 10-ounce torpedo is what was working best. 5.0 Aki twist hook. Dennis said he fished with a 3.0 and had no problem at all. Fluorocarbon was not necessary, according to Dennis. It was so wide open. I'd still bring some because things change day to day, and I still like to rig up with fluorocarbon because of the anti-abrasive quality to it, but you didn't need it. It was unnecessary. It was absolutely incredible fishing. And once again, several other boats there with similar results, or if not exact results. The limit on sea bass has gone to 3, and this has got to be one of the best bites on the coast. Over at 8 a.m., however, it was all she wrote. You go from this wide open, crazy fishing to the light switch is off. 8 a.m. was when it shut off yesterday, and those boys are conking them up there in the Channel Islands. Ventura Sport Fishing, Endeavor, all over it. Several other boats all over it. Tremendous fishing, and hopefully that is going to continue. All right, we got some great coastal fishing going on. Back to Ensenada. I'll go south and then work up the beach, keep it on coastal. I talked to Arnie. Remember, he's the guy that told me kelps are dry, 73-degree water. And you can find him on Facebook, by the way, Arnie Man Sport Fishing, if you want to go down there and fish with him. Great guy, and he knows that area really, really well. His uncle, Tony Lozano, owns a restaurant in Rosarito. He's a dear friend of mine and another great guy. All right, forget all that nonsense. Let's get into the fishing. A lot of barracuda, sand bass, calico bass, some white sea bass starting to show up. We're looking really good down there around University Point, Punabanda area, also looking good in that Ensenada zone. So bring your surface iron. If you take down some fresh dead squid, that can really help you to get the job done. really looking good down there in that neck of the woods. And in the San Diego area, we're seeing similar also. We're seeing a lot more calico bass down there, a lot of action, some shorts in there, a lot of shorts actually, but some keepers also in that San Diego area, moving you up the coast, and they've got some good signal of barracuda down there in that neck of the woods. Up there around Dana, good calico along the kelp line, a few halibut also here recently during a grunion run. One more night to that. That will be tonight, late, I think around midnight. And also we are seeing barracuda, a few yellowtail in that neck of the woods also. As we get you up to the San Pedro area, it is great. Long Beach area. The boats yesterday had the barracuda bite, the explosion that we thought was imminent, and we were so happy to see it. Biting on the surface iron. Get your Tatty 45s, blue and white. It really didn't even seem to matter. I love the blue and white, however. Crank on those barracuda. It is really fun fishing. Lots of fish. City of Long Beach, 200 plus on the barracuda. Enterprise, Mitch running the boat, 200 plus barracuda. Talk to Brian on the Monte Carlo, 150 gar. It's biting full speed. Remember, I told you this yesterday, when you throw the iron, you don't set the hook by rearing back on the rod. You don't do that. You just turn the handle, grind down, grind down, grind down. Fish will start to pull, and then you can raise the rod up and fight them. And all those guys, Jeff over there at 540 Slingers Club, and Danny, and all those guys are so excited about this, as am I. There's nothing more fun than catching gar on the iron. That is so great to see. Really, really going quite good. Up there around Marina Del Rey, kind of scratchy. Redondo picking off a few bass, a little bit of barracuda. That barracuda hasn't manifested itself there yet, so we'll continue to watch that, and hopefully that's going to get going. Up there in the Channel Islands, Island Spirit, fishing the beach area, calico bass, sand bass, some barracuda, some halibut, at times looking pretty doggone interesting. So that's another area for you to keep your eyes on. Santa Barbara at 67 barracuda. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see the California, the half-day boat out of Ventura sport fishing, or the Island Spirit crank up bigger numbers of barracuda and sand bass and all of that, because the beaches are looking very, very good. Ventura sport fishing, 805-676-3474. All right, on the horizon for Friedman Adventures, 2 spaces open on our July 5th departure 2-day trip on board the Pride, and those boys have been red hot out of 22nd Street Landing. And we have a trip also on July the 22nd with Bill Wilkerson on board the Malihini out of beautiful H&M Landing in San Diego. I see yellowfin tuna, dorado, and yellowtail on the kelps in our future down there. Again, if you'd like our charter list, it's in the comments, or not in the comment section, in the show description for you, but I can also send it to you, and I'm more than happy to do that. Just send me a text to 657-2276-459. All right, incredible stuff going on. I really do believe that bluefin is going to pop here. It looks like it is trying to do just that. And the spread of fish is magnificent. I love that warm water on the Baja coast. I'm going to see, or I'm seeing, or I'm hoping that that yellowfin and dorado, yellowtail, maybe a week or two before that happens, but that is set up. As Joe Chait from the Pegasus used to like to say, the dinner table is set. We're just waiting for the guests to arrive. And that dinner table is actually set pretty good. Albacore, the water offshore cooler. I have an albacore update for you later today. Don't miss it. Some exciting new stuff going on. And also some tremendous local barracuda, and that white sea bass bite up in the Channel Islands is so fantastic. All right, everybody. Hey, I want to say hi to Joe Russo and Pete Demers. Pete was, of course, the trainer for the LA Kings for 25 years. Great guy, always donating his time to help others, and an avid fisherman. Joe and Pete said they may go south and go down there and fish a little bit. That'll be great. I hope they get in on some really good fishing. Hey, from the bottom of my heart, thanks for pushing us up to new levels, starting to point toward 20,000 hours of content consumed in the last 28 days, and well over 135,000 views, if I'm remembering that right. I hope I didn't screw it up. It might be 125, might be 145. I think it is 135. Thank you so much, everybody. I deeply appreciate it and won't forget you for that. Don't miss the albacore hotline, and tonight we're live, 7 p.m. from 22nd Street Landing. Bill Patson. You'll learn everything you want to learn about building your own rod. And Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing in beautiful Carson, California, will also be there. Sam, fresh off the Royal Star, a 3-day trip. You'll be able to ask Sam and Bill any question you like. For everybody here at Friedman Adventures, I think that's me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon, my friends.